guys, welcome back to the channel. We have another game which I managed to find on DriveThruRPG, very cheap, and I think it's another hidden gem. Sometimes you'll go on these places and you'll find random games and they're kind of, okay, kind of fine. But sometimes you'll find some real gems. It's happened before with my series on Red Zone and with Alone Against Fear, and this game Ronin, I think will join those games as being something that I really enjoy and I really want to play, and hence this video. I want to spread the word on independent games that are worth a look. So this is Ronin. It is a narrative solo game. Kind of like creating a saga or creating the story of a momentous journey, in this case of a Ronin. Now, a Ronin in Japanese history was a masterless samurai. For one reason or another, the samurai basically lost his clan, lost his lord. A lot of the time they would commit seppuku, or commit the ritual suicide. But sometimes they would wander, masterless, being looked down on and very low in terms of the caste. So this game is about that. You create a Ronin and you play out his story. You play out his journey, whether he's looking for redemption, he's looking for revenge, he's looking for absolution. He seems to have something that he's journeying towards. And in this game, it's very, very simple, is that you partake of that journey. You travel a route to a settlement, could be a village, a town, a city, and during the journey and also in the settlement, things will happen to you. So you will be doing these encounters and possibly finding allies, probably finding enemies, but you will meet, as long as you survive long enough, you will meet 3 villains. And these are like the bosses that you have to fight to meet your end, to meet the object of your revenge, or the object of your task. And you will meet, like I say, up to 3 villains. The last one being the final villain. He will be stronger, he will be more difficult. And yeah, that's basically how the game works. You will journey, go to a settlement, do whatever encounters there are in the journey, the settlement, and you'll do it again and again and again. Now, once you get to a certain amount of kind of experience, it's a different word, you will then have chance of getting to fight the first villain, and then the second villain, and then the final villain. And it will happen over this journey that you'll be doing. And it's all about creating this story. Now, in this book, in this game, it's about 30 pages. It doesn't have pages of text which tells you the story. It doesn't have paragraphs that tells you the story. You create the story. Yeah, this book has everything in it that you can use to, I forget the word they use, but it kind of stitching the word. Here we go. Stitching the story. It gives you all the different elements, but you're creating the story yourself, whether you're creating it in your mind as you play the game, or whether you write a journal, writing down everything that's happening, creating a story as you go. It's extremely interesting and a very, very nice design. Now, this game was written by, and excuse me if I say this wrong, Tiago Junges. Sorry if the pronunciation's bad. But this guy is from Brazil, apparently. And he released this game in Portuguese to begin with. I think it has a following in Portuguese. But this is the English version. It is released under, I think it's his the name of his brand, Coisinhaverde. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. But yeah, it's about I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think it was on sale. I think the retail price is about $5 for the PDF. Very, very cheap, and it's a really fun game. I had a playthrough to kind of learn the rules. And I lasted 3 encounters. I got cut to pieces and died. It's very difficult to die in this game. But as we'll see, it's not difficult for me. So this game is all about story building, and you're following this Ronin on his journey, or her journey. You can play feminine as well, it's not a problem. I also think that this system could be adapted for other genres as well, for other heroes, for other nations. For example, it could be done, I think somebody suggested on another video's comment, that it could be done for a cowboy. I was also thinking maybe in ancient Greece. Yeah, a lot of the ancient Greek sort of legends is about a hero going off on a quest. Maybe even American Indian, maybe a tribesman is going out into the desert to kind of sort of search for the ancestors, or to find his totem spirit or something. So you could integrate the American Indian legends in here as well. Or maybe even, I don't know, maybe closer to home for Mr. Tiago, is maybe some kind of Aztec or Incan legend-based story. But this one is Ronin. It's based on the old Japanese, but it is not historical. He makes it very clear at the beginning, it is not a 100% historical game. It is based on historical Japan with the samurai, but it is not historically based, so there will be variations in the game. So, I'm not going to explain how the game works. I'm going to show you. As we play the game, I'm going to explain the things as they occur. But we need a few basics first. To play this game, this is all you need. You need, obviously, the rules. You need a character sheet. Now, I think in the basic PDF that I got, I think the character sheet was Portuguese, but there is a download for the English one. So this is the character sheet, but it's more than that. It's the character and adventure sheet. This section in the top left, this is your character's name, abilities, stats, background, and you have here 3 basic stats: reputation, compassion, and determination. Down here in the bottom left, you have, it says here possible allies, but I think this is for allies. Then you have noble clans. In the game, you will be interacting with samurai clans, whether it's part of your background or whether it's people that you meet. So they recommend having 4 noble clans, so we'll be rolling those up. You have a part here in the center bottom where you put down your enemies that you're going to be fighting to keep track. And then on the right, you will have your villains. These are like the bosses: the first boss, second boss, final boss. Just all on one sheet. You don't have to make any other notes. And this is all you need: pencil, eraser, and 2 dice. Now the dice, if possible, try to use a black and white dice. These are meant to represent yin and yang. There will be times where you'll be rolling both of these dice and you'll use both of them to interact with tables. Other times you'll be using these dice for things such as combat, where the black dice represents your enemy, the white dice represents you. Again, we will explain all of this as we play the game and as we go through this saga, this journey of my Ronin. So to begin with, there are some rules in the game about leaving the trail, so you don't have to follow exactly black and white what it's leading you to. You can go off and do other things to expand on your story. So you're searching for things, you're leaving the trail. At the end of the game, you can test whether you have redemption or whatever. You can interact as well. Now, when you meet up with NPCs, sometimes you will fight. Yeah? But there are also options for you to talk, charm, or intimidate. So it's all on this table here, who you can do these interactions with. So for example, with an ally, you can talk. And there's a section here that deals with talking with them. But you can't charm them. Yeah? If you meet a possible ally, somebody who could be your ally, then yes, you could try to charm them to make them into your ally. What else is there? Like I say, it looks to be very difficult to actually die in this, because when you get defeated in combat, you have to roll a d6. On a 1, you're dead. On a 2 or more, you're just wounded. You lose some of your abilities, but you're basically able to continue. And like I say, I'm quite famous for rolling 1s. My first playthrough of this, when I was learning the rules, I lasted for 3 encounters. I got defeated in combat and I rolled a 1. That's normal for me. But let us get started with the interesting stuff. You don't want to hear me keep talking. Now, in this game, you are creating a Ronin who is going to create this saga, this story with you. And to create your Ronin, there are a number of tables for you to roll on to give you the basic information. And from here, you can create the story of your character, where they come from, why are they a Ronin, you know, why are they now this masterless warrior. You get scars, you'll have nightmares. This is all part of creating the background of your character to make it part of the story. So we are going to start with this. Like I say, I'm not going to explain everything at the beginning. We're going to get playing. So we're going to be using the 2 dice. Now, if you don't have black and white, it's fine. Just use 1 dark and 1 light is also fine. So when you are creating your Ronin, or other times when you're creating allies and enemies, create their names, their appearance, their technique. The technique is quite important because it determines, if it's not given when you roll it up, it will give their combat skills. So you'll be using these quite a number of times. Now, on these tables here, you will have 2 sets of dice here. You have dark and light. So for example, I'm going to roll up my name now, and I think I'm going to go for a male Ronin. So I'm rolling both of my dice. I get a black 1 or a dark 1, and I get a light 2, which is here. So black 1, the black dice had a 1, the white dice had a 2. So my name is Nobu. Nobu the Ronin. So we write his name. That's my character's name, Nobu. Next, we roll appearance. Sometimes these are basic, sometimes they can be quite interesting. So again, we're rolling both the dice. Yeah, rolling low again. So a 2 and a 2. So according to this, appearance, deep voice. What's that got to do with appearance? Maybe characteristic would be a better word or something. But my character has a deep voice. That's something that's known about him. Deep voice. Right. We have to now roll for our technique. Now, this basically lets me know the fighting style and the weapon that I use in combat. You have a basic, and then if you roll a 1, you get an uncommon technique. Now, of course, most samurai, and hence most Ronin, would actually be using Kenjutsu, which is the katana. To be honest, but again, he says that this is not realistic, this is not a historical thing, but I would probably have had the katana Kenjutsu to be a larger chance. But this forget about the traditional samurai. This makes it more interesting, having lots and lots of different weapons. So our technique, what are we going to be using? Now for this, I only roll a d6. So I'm going to roll, and I get a 1. I could have put money on that, couldn't I? All right, so roll on the uncommon technique. So I'm going to be rolling on this table. Right, so we roll again. We get a 5. So I'm using Kusarigama. I think this is more a ninja weapon, isn't it? Kusarigama. It's the kama and the weighted chain, I think. Kusarigama. Okay. Kusarigama. I think it's 2 words. Never mind. Right, what do we got? Fight. Oh, okay. So my fight's only +0. So I don't get any. Okay. If you block, get +4 for the next roll. Block of. Okay, so block of 2. Attack of +0. And I'll put here block +4. That's risky. So anyway, yeah. When you fight an opponent, you basically roll the dice, and you add your fight number to your white dice, and then you add the enemy's fight number to the black dice, or dark dice, and whoever rolls highest has won that combat. If you have block, you can use block, or you will use block, to negate hits. So for example, if I rolled this, and let's say for example we both have fight +0, I would win this combat 5-4 if there's no modifiers, if there's no fight bonuses. If the enemy has a block number, let's say for example they have block 1, even though I win this combat, I don't kill or I don't defeat the opponent, he would lose his point of block and we'd roll again. But he has no more block left, so the next hit would take him down. And the same thing would happen with me. Now that I have this Kusarigama skill, I have a block of 2. So I can stop 2 hits on me before it takes me down. Yeah? At the end of every combat, you get your block back. Yeah, the number here is per encounter. So I mean, to be honest, I'd have preferred something with a fight value, without having to rely on using my block first. To be honest, but well, it's what the dice give me. So I'm going to be using a Kusarigama. I think there's a diagram here. Yeah, there, Kusarigama. So you've basically got a kama, which is a small sickle, and you've got like a weighted chain. Yeah, I think this was, again, based on what I've read and everything, I think this was traditionally more of a ninja weapon. Never mind. So we are using a Kusarigama. All right, what's next? Next, we have to look at the family. So we're looking at the background. So we've done the name, we've done the appearance, we've done the technique. Now we're looking at our family. Why did we become Ronin? So for this, we're rolling a d6. We got a 3. Plebeian, how do you pronounce that? Plebeian family that revolted against the dominant noble clan. Tables 9 and 10. Noble clan. Yeah, remember, they recommend you roll up 4 noble clans. So it looks like we got on the wrong side. We revolted against the dominant noble clan and now is persecuted by it. Oh, that's not good. So we have enemies, and it's a dominant clan, so there may be vassal clans as well. Oh, that's not good at all. So that's not good at all. Plebeian basically means commoner. So it wasn't a noble family that I came from. It was like a common family. Hence, why I'm maybe using a non-samurai weapon. Okay, so we are commoners. I'm going to use the word commoner rather than plebeian, because I think more people will understand what commoner means. Okay, so we've revolted, family, revolted against, and I'm going to roll up the clans afterwards, so I'll leave that blank for the moment, but the family revolted against, and I'll roll up the clans and I'll put the name afterwards. Okay, now it is persecuted. And persecuted by... Again, I'll just put the name of the clan here afterwards. Okay. So that was the family. Now we have nightmares and scars. Let's do the scar first. So every character has a like a scar that kind of, again, adds to your character, adds to your character's background. So for this, again, we're going to be rolling 2 dice. What do we get? We get... I rolled a lot of ones. So we got a black or a dark 1, and we have a light 2. And I'm missing fingers. Okay, maybe practicing with the kusarigama. Whoops. All right, so I'm missing how many fingers? It can't be normal for me to roll this many ones. If you watch any of my other videos, it happens a lot. So I'm missing 1 finger. Which one? The middle finger? I'm missing the middle finger? Or maybe the middle finger. So I'm constantly giving the horns. So I'm missing 1 finger. That's my scar. Okay. And what does that mean? What's the meaning of that? I have to write here. Okay. The meaning. Oh, 6. Ooh. Frustration. Someone very close has betrayed you. Well, so I lost the finger because someone very close has betrayed me. Interesting. Again, I'm going to come up with a story and add it into the video. So, frustration. Who could it be? Maybe a lover? Maybe a lover basically led me into an ambush by this noble clan in exchange for her family's freedom or something? Interesting. And they cut off one of my fingers as a sign of punishment. Yep, that sounds good. I can go along with that. All right, and the last part for this, from my background, is this nightmare. I'm having a recurring nightmare. And for that, again, we're going to be rolling 2 dice, dark and light. So what do we get? We get, see, another 1. See, another 1. Dark 3 and a 1. So, what? Okay, so my nightmare is a giant octopus devouring an animal while it struggles. I mean, that could be linked to the finger, to that girl betraying me to the noble clan when they cut my finger off, holding me down and cutting my finger off as a sign of punishment. So octopus eating animal. Okay. Yeah, so I think I may go along with that story. Our lover basically turned me into this clan to basically save her family from some kind of punishment. They gave her an offer to leave her family alone if she caused my family problems, and she did it with me, led me into an alley, and I got surrounded by this clan, soldiers of this clan, and they beat me and cut off my finger. So maybe I'm looking to take revenge against the clan because maybe they've also hurt other members of my family. See the story. The story is evolving. The story is getting better. It's clever, very clever, how all of this stitches together to create a story. I'm not the world's greatest storyteller. There are guys who run RPGs and who play RPGs who are much better than me. But this game it's getting me to think like that. I love it. Right, we have Now we've got to roll up these noble clans that exist in this territory, in this land that I'm going to be journeying. So we have 4 noble clans. How am I going to do this? I mean, I'd like to put the one who is dominant at the top, but I won't know that until I roll. But let's roll and see. So first of all, we roll 1d6 to find out. So the first clan is a 3. This clan is one of the oldest. Today they are small, but one day they plan to go back to their glory days. Well, I'm going to put them not the top one, because I think I might roll a better one, or a more dominant one at a later date. So this clan is old but small. I'll put this as the second one. Old but small. Right. Now, to get their clan name, we're rolling 2 dice. So we get a black or a dark 3 and a light 5. Donk. 3, 5. This is Shinkame, or the Turtle Clan. Shinkame, the Turtle Clan. All right. Next one. We've got to do. That's all we have to do. That's all we have to do for clans. So we've got to do 3 more. So next we have a 3, same thing. Another old but small clan. And this clan is, we've got a 2 and a 6. Donk donk is the Dog Clan. Tsukinu. Tsukinu. Dog Clan. Okay. Next, we've got a 2. New clan. It was just formed after another clan was exterminated. Okay. So this is a new clan. And this is the 3, 4. Donk, 3. Donk, 4. It's the Cat Clan. Kuroiniko. Again, my pronunciation is really bad. Kuroineko. Cat Clan. Well, I got 1 left, so this must be the dominant clan, I think. No, it's another old but small. Okay, but I'll say that these guys are the dominant one. So this is the clan that I have the problem with. It didn't say that any of them are what's the word? Vassals. See here, vassal. So I might be okay. This clan may just be operating by itself without these guys helping. So, okay, so this is the one that I'm having the problems with. Left it till last. So rolling both dice. This is the 6, 1. Scorpion Clan. Oh, Sasori. So we're having problems with the Scorpion Clan. Oh, nice. All right. So that is that done. Now, when we start the game, let me just go back here because there was one thing that I forgot to do. Okay, so up here. So after doing all of these things, all this background information, we have to mark our attributes. So we start with a 0 in reputation, a 2 in compassion, and a 2 in determination. Now these stats, if we go back a little bit, if we go back a teensy-wincy little bit. Okay, so reputation is how well known your character is. This is also going to define when you meet the villains. To meet the villains, you need to have a certain level of reputation. I think it's 4, minimum of 4, before you can meet the first villain. And again, the higher your reputation, the more chance you've got of meeting other villains and everything else. Reputation can be useful, but it's kind of, you want to kind of control it to, you don't want to get it too high too early because you don't, well, I mean, I don't know whether it's worth running into a villain early or not. I don't know whether you want to get some allies first, maybe. Because there's no real experience in this. You can't increase your stats or anything. You can increase these. Reputation, compassion, and determination. But I mean, determination would be good because determination is your willpower, And basically these are like reroll counters. You can spend 1 point of determination to roll a dice again, to re-roll a dice. And you can gain determination by resting at settlements and places when it gives you the option. Compassion represents your sensitivity. This will help you when you're trying to do things like get allies. You add this to the dice roll. And compassion, you can earn compassion by making allies or helping people. But you lose compassion if you kill. So when you do things like fighting, when you defeat an opponent, you've got a choice. You can either kill them, where you lose 1 compassion, or you can let them live, but you'll gain 1 reputation. And again, you might want to control how much reputation you have if you don't want to meet the villain just yet. So it's all very clever. It's a very, very clever game. But we'll see as we play. Right. So we have done all of this. We've done the clans. We are persecuted by the Sasori clan. And I've got an ex-girlfriend that I want to have a word with. How come you led me to these boys? They cut my bloody finger off. What's the matter with you, woman? So, yeah. I think we are ready to get started. Right, let us start our journey. Let us start our story. As I explained a little bit earlier, the essence of this game is the journey. The people you meet on the journey, the enemies you fight on the journey, the things that you find on the journey. And the journey is very simple. It's basically just 2 parts, the route and the location. And you'll do this again and again and again. You'll roll for the route, see if anything happens. You get to a location, you roll, see what happens, and then you travel again. You route, location. And you can have encounters. These are the road encounters. These are the urban encounters. Possibly you'll find allies, and eventually you'll find villains. And it's very, very simple to play, very, very simple to follow. From my first test play when I was learning the rules, it can be bloody deadly as well. The game says even if you die, you can take an ally and play them as they're trying to get revenge for your death. But I did 3 encounters. I didn't have any bloody allies. I was all alone and I died. But that was at the hands of the first villain. I managed to get the first villain in 3 encounters. All right, so let's go. This video is going to be huge. Right, so I am playing Nobu, who has a deep voice and uses a kusari gamma. Missing 1 little pinky. Right, so we are going to roll for our first route. We are going to start on our journey to find the Scorpion clan. And actually, should I be hunting the Scorpion clan or should I be hunting that girl? Maybe that girl could be the final villain. Yeah, maybe they took her into their ranks and she's become quite successful in their ranks. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, my ex-girlfriend. So instead of hunting down the clan because they're basically picking on my family, maybe I'm hunting down my ex who turned me into the clan, who beat me and cut my finger off. Maybe I'm hunting her down because she was taken into the clan, made a clan member, and she's doing really well there. Yeah, that would give a good story for the final villain, my ex. Yep, that'll do. So, my ex-girlfriend. Hugs and kisses. So the first step of our journey as we're hunting for our ex, we are going to roll for the route first. What happens as we're traveling to the first location? We roll a 6. Nothing happens. Okay, sweet. So we journey through the land of ancient Japan and we get to a settlement safely. So now we're at the settlement. What do we find? What kind of settlement is it? Okay, we have reached a port city. Here you can choose to have an urban encounter or take shelter to earn 1 determination. I'm going to take shelter and I'm going to earn 1 determination. Because again, these are rerolls. Useful. So we go to a port city, nothing happens, we rest, we shelter, and we get 1 determination. Now I can have up to 6. Right, now we try to the next location, the next settlement. We're traveling, what happens? We get a 3. If you have reputation 6 or more, a villain has found you. Okay, see what I mean about reputation and villain? If not, roll for a road encounter. Okay, we have an encounter. So for a road encounter, we're rolling on this table here. We're rolling the 2 dice. What do we get for our first encounter? Oh, I don't know whether this is good or not. We get a 6 and a 5. What does it say? There is a large wild animal on the loose. Some farmers say that he has already killed several animals and attacked some inhabitants of the region. You can ignore it and move on, but if you want to investigate, roll a die. If the result is between 2 and 6, you found that it's a wolf. Fight +0, block +1, okay? And if you defeat it, you'll gain 1 reputation. But if the result is a 1, you have found a yokai. I think yokai is a spirit creature, I think, named Nu. Let me just double check. Yokai, spirit from the Japanese folklore. Okay, yeah, there's a glossary at the back. You found a yokai named Nu. A fight of +2. Okay, spelling mistake. Block 2, a very dangerous chimeric creature. Now here's the thing. I roll a lot of 1s. And that would probably kill me. Fight +2. I mean, I'm assuming that if you defeat the yokai, you'll also get the 1 reputation. I'm assuming. Should I? Do I want to fight? Yeah, what the hell? Okay, so we're gonna investigate. So we're rolling a dice. We don't want a 1. Anything but a 1. Okay. We didn't get a 1. All right, so we're fighting a wolf. So in the enemies section, we put here wolf. It has a fight of 0. And it has a block of 1, so it's going to block my first hit. Yeah. So I'm going to have to win at least 2 rolls to kill it. Now I have a block of 2, and if I do block, I get +4 to the next roll. I don't like that. I don't like having to rely on a block. But here we go. So combat. I can't talk to this thing. I can't charm this thing. It's going to be a fight. So I'm rolling both these dice. The light dice is for me, and I add my fight. The black dice, or the dark dice, will be for the enemy, and we add his fight. So both of us have a +0. Okay. So I get a 5, the wolf gets a 2, which means I win. What that does is it knocks off his block. Yeah? He blocks the attack, or he has armor, or he dodges, but that's all he gets. The next one that hits him will take him out. I have 2 blocks left in case I lose. I shouldn't say anything, should I? Right, next attack. I shouldn't have said anything, should I? I shouldn't have said anything. All right, so I get a 2, the wolf gets a 3, so he wins. So I have to use one of my blocks. But the next attack, I'm getting a +4. So we roll again. And I needed it. All right, so the wolf rolls a 3, I get a 2, but because my technique is kusarigama, I'm using the kusarigama, when I use a block, the next turn I get a +4 to attack. So this becomes a 6. I win. The wolf doesn't have any blocks left. Rip. Wolf is dead, I win, and I gain 1 reputation. Because that's what it says here. Excellent, my first combat, and I win. Now, when the encounter is over, we get back our blocks. Because this is per encounter. Okay. Lovely jubbly. First encounter and we won. All right. Actually, let's move that over there as well. Okay, so that was the route. We're now, once we've killed the wolf and we've helped the farmers, we now go and find where we end up. What's the location? The location we find is a 5. We arrive in a town. Okay. If you have a reputation of 5 or more, you'll be approached by 2 soldiers. Reputation, only 1. No, good. Here you get 1 reputation and you have an urban encounter. Okay, so you automatically get 1 reputation. Okay. And we get an urban encounter. Okay. So we go to the urban encounter table. This isn't as big. This doesn't have as many options. I mean, I'd love to see loads more options, but you know, you've got to keep things within limits. Okay, so the urban encounter, we roll both dice, we get a 3, bonk, and a 2, bonk. You discover that a well-known weapon master lives in this location. If you decide to look for him, he will be a possible ally with the occupation already determined as mentor. Ally. So allies here, a mentor. If he becomes an ally, you can be trained by him and add his technique to your card. So you can choose which technique to use when you fight enemies. Ooh, that could be a very useful ally. All right, so we're going to... Okay, here's the thing. On the character sheet, you've got this part here for writing down possible allies. I honestly don't think it's worth rolling up the name, the appearance, the technique, the occupation, unless you actually get them as an ally. Because if you don't succeed in the charm roll, yeah, you got to try a charm roll to convert them from possible to actual ally. If I don't succeed in that roll, then they're not going to be my ally, and they just walk away and live their own lives. So I think, because it doesn't say you can try more than once, so I'm not going to roll up all these stats and everything unless I actually succeed in the charm roll. Now, let us see. I'm going to use a bookmark just to help me in case I forget what page it is. So we found a mentor, possible ally. Okay. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, I don't see the point of doing possible allies in terms of all the details, because if you don't charm them, then you don't get them. Right, so leave the thing there. We're going to try and charm this possible ally and hopefully get a new mentor. Okay, so to charm, you roll both dice. The dark dice is the enemy's resistance. The light dice is my empathy capacity. And I add my compassion value to the light dice. Okay. If the final value of the light dice was greater, you were successful. So equal or less is a failure. It has to be greater. So on a draw is also a failure. Okay. So I'm getting a +2 to the roll. Hello, new mentor. So he got a 4, I got 8. So I have a new ally. So now I've got to roll him up. All right, so you do the same as you did for your character for these allies. So you have to roll up their name, you have to roll up their technique, you have to roll up... I think for technique, if I remember correctly, they get -1 to the block. I think you get a -1 to the block. I think I read somewhere. I read somewhere. Yeah, 1 less point of block. So whatever their technique is, they will have 1 point less of block. I don't think that applies to me. If I use their technique, because a mentor, I can choose to use their technique instead of mine. I'll just get the full block, but the ally only gets 1 less block. So, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking too much. Let us get their name. I'm going to take it as male. So we get a white 6 and a dark 3. So their name is Hinata. Hinata. Occupation is mentor. All right. Do we do appearance and everything as well? Yeah. Okay. Appearance. What's this guy look like? Or sound like? I got a 2-2. 2-2. Oh, he's also got a deep voice. Hello, kindred spirit. Deep voice. Sod's Law, he gets exactly the same as me. Oh, right, technique. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Technique. What does he use? A what? If I get Kusarigama, I'm going to roll again. So uncommon. 2. Odachi. Odachi. Now I've seen this written in other reference books as no dachi. It's basically a huge katana, like a really big katana. Yeah, look, size that bloody sword, look. It's like the great sword of Japan. Now, here's the problem. My ally is going to have a fight of +3, but a block of 0. So he's got fight +3, block 0. So I also get Odachi, which is fight +3, block 1. Okay, so what that means is with a mentor, I can choose which weapon to fight with now, because I've also learned his technique as well. Very nice. So I've got a Kusarigama and a bloody great sword. Nice. So I have my first ally. Boink. Nice. Very, very nice. This is going way better than my first test game. I was dead by now, I think, in my first game. All right. So that was in the town, my second settlement. So now we carry on our journey. So we carry on now with the route. So what's going to happen as I journey to the next settlement? I get a 6, nothing happens, okay? So I reach the new location, which is a 6. So now I've come to a large city, led by a noble clan. Ooh, which one? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll roll randomly. Yeah, I'm going to roll randomly. I'm just going to get a D4, then I'll be back. Right, got myself a D4. So we're going to find out who is in charge of this city. It's one of the noble clans. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bonk. Oh, I missed the bloody thing. Let's roll. Bonk. Honestly, I'm not drunk. Honest. Get in there. And it had to be the 1. Oh no, it's the Scorpion clan. Oh crap. Okay, so we're in a large city being led by the Scorpion clan. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful. If you have a reputation 4 or more, no, I've got a reputation 2. Be approached by 2 soldiers. Here, you get 1. Oh, my reputation is going up. And have an urban encounter. Is there any way of losing reputation? Can you lose reputation by killing people? No, you just lose compassion. How can you lose rep? By dying? No, it's not. Shit. Okay, you can't reduce rep. Okay. Oof. Okay. So we in the large city we now have. I've got my +1 reputation. Now I'm having an urban encounter. Rolling both dice again. What do we get? Let's get rid of that. 4 and 4. 4 and 4. You have visited a shop or inn owned by a possible ally. Ho ho ho. Okay. So we try to charm them first. I mean, at the moment, I'm just going to charm everybody. So we're going to try and charm them first. So I get a +2 to the roll. So we get 7 versus 1. We get another ally. Woohoo! Now this ally is going to be random occupation. So for this one, I think I'm going to go female. Does it make any difference? I'll just put male here. I think the next one I'm going to go female, maybe. I've come with lots of bookmarks, really. Okay. So female. We roll the name. We've got a dark 3. We've got a light 1, and the name is Zonk Zonk Shizuka. Shizuka, female. Appearance. Oh God, how many ones am I going to roll? I've got a 1 and I've got a 2. Roll again twice. Okay. So we got a 5 and a 4. Big eyebrows. Okay, big eyebrows. And 1, 5. Red eyes. Oh dear, red eyes. Okay, maybe she's a spirit in disguise. Technique. What technique does she learn? Do we do this for? Yeah, we do. Okay, so technique. What does she fight with? We roll 1 dice. We get a 5. Aijutsu. So that's the art of drawing the katana from its scabbard and hitting in the same stroke. Very difficult to master this. I learned a little bit when I used to study Aikido. I learned a little bit of this. It's not easy at all. So, Jutsu. And that gives a fight of +4 in the first round and block of 2. Okay. So she knows Oijutsu. Okay, occupation. Occupation is, roll d6. 4. A healer. Oh, if you're a fighter or mentor, a technique with 1 less block. Okay. So we don't need to know. She doesn't really know Aijutsu, she just pretended. Alright, so she is a healer. Nice. If they become an ally, you cannot die when you're defeated in combat. So how do you die then? If you can't die when you're in combat, how do you die? How do you lose the mission? Alright. Interesting. So I have a mentor and I have a healer. And luckily, the clan didn't find me. Right, let's continue our journey. Let's get out of this large city before the clan finds me.